Good morning, friends, and welcome to After GMS. So great to see so many of our regulars here on our live Facebook feed. I'm Megan Malaris alongside Stacey Spivey and Christian Morgan.
Yeah, a lot of people weighing in already. Sharia said, great hump day morning. I don't think it could be any better because the weather is seriously perfect. Well, that is, I guess, if you like it to be warm outside. But Christian, you've been saying it all morning. It feels more like June rather than April.
Yeah, I can reassure you that it's spring in North Carolina, although it feels a whole lot more like a June day or a summer day. Of course, still very comfortable outside right now. We're in the upper 40s and low 50s. It's a great morning to be outside, whether you're doing a morning run or a morning workout, or I don't know, maybe we're working out in the yard. It's a good morning for that. Of course, things are all dry on the radar, and not just here at home, all the way down to the south and all across the East Coast. But notice there's a system back to our west starting to get organized. High pressure is mainly in control of our weather now. It will stay in control of our weather today and going into tomorrow, but it is starting to shift offshore. So we warm things up a little bit more ahead of that cold front as our winds surge in from the south. So that'll get us up into the mid 80s today, but that cold front back to our west is going to be marching to the Triad as we go into your Thursday. So it brings at least some rain chance with it. Let me show you how Futurecast plays this out. Really, there's no issues at all with today. Maybe a few high clouds and really not anything wrong with Thursday for the most part. Going into the afternoon and into the evening hours, though, the clouds will start to thicken up a bit, and then we could have some scattered showers or maybe an isolated storm in the afternoon and evening hours, but not everybody's going to get one of those, and it's not going to be a big deal if you do. Bottom line, here's your planner for today. It's a warm afternoon of weather. We're going to warm up quickly, too, especially with the sun coming up. I expect us to be near 80 as we get into the lunchtime hour, and then topping out in the mid 80s as we go throughout the afternoon, easily making it the warmest day of the year so far. Tonight, a few extra clouds overhead. That'll keep us a little bit warmer than we have been the last couple nights, dropping back into the mid 50s. And of course, we talked about this yesterday, a very easy pollen forecast for you to understand. Your car is going to be extremely yellow, and you will be sneezing if the allergies bother you very badly. Tree pollen is extremely high right now. We also have low levels of grass and weed pollen as well. 7-day forecast looks like this, very spring-like for North Carolina. Our temperatures are going to stay in the 70s, which is even a bit above normal for where we should be this time of the year. Low scattered rain, isolated storm chance for tomorrow. Better chance for that on Friday and Saturday. We're drying things out on Sunday, going into next week.
Wow, the pollen count today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying about the cars. I was looking at the hood of my car yesterday as I was pulling in my driveway, and there's just like this film of green nastiness.
And you can see it blowing around too.
It's
Yes,
bad.
it's everywhere. It's just one of those things when we have spring-like weather, and it is going to be the warmest day of the year, and it has to be our first talker today. Of course, we have to talk about it. With temperatures in the mid 80s, will you get out and enjoy the weather, or is that too hot for your liking? Go ahead and let us know in the comment section below. I really don't think it's too hot for my liking. However, I will say I've been going on some daily walks, and before being pregnant, it was, you know, easy and just normal to go and walk, but now I notice I get a lot hotter, a lot quicker. So today I might be, wiping some sweat off my face a little bit, because I usually go midday when it is the warmest. But I love this kind of weather. I love summertime. It just makes my life better. Overall, it just makes me, I feel like I'm in a better mood when the weather is nice outside.
Yeah, when the days are longer, I mean, it is such a mood changer. I know there is something to that whole seasonal affective disorder, and there are things associated with the weather on our mood, so that makes sense. I plan to go for our evening walk, as we always do before dinner. We have really enjoyed the weather lately. Of course, pushing a stroller, you get a lot hotter too.
Yeah.
Then when it's just you know,
that's
pushing
a good workout.
up the hill. Here, Trevor, take over, please.
Yeah.
But you know, I really love this warm weather. 82 is my perfect temperature. If it could be one temperature all year long, I would pick 82, low humidity, maybe a little partly cloudy, but that would be ideal for me, Christian.
Okay, I'll see if I can make that happen. I think my perfect weather day would be 73, 74 degrees. Okay. But no, you're right. With the days being longer, it makes everything feel a lot better, especially when we have the warmer days. And I'll tell you, the nice part about the 80s today, like we had yesterday and that we'll have today, is that it is still early spring, so it's not all that humid yet. So we can deal with 80s as long as it's not super, super sticky. And that's what we got today. You notice once the sun kind of starts to go down, it really cools off quickly and it's very comfortable. So we can deal with the warmer weather as long as it's not super sticky.
Yeah, before we get to some comments, we had a couple questions. Christian, I think people are making their weekend plans. Alicia wanted to know, Friday and Saturday going to be a washout? That kind of correlates with a comment I saw on my page earlier with someone planning a wedding this weekend. Sure. What can we expect rain-wise?
Yeah, I know. Looking at the 7-day forecast, it really kind of looks daunting, the fact that there's rain chances and a decent rain chance each of those days. But bottom line, none of those days look like a washout to me. Best chance for rain over the weekend is going to be Friday night and then into Saturday, and then Saturday night and into Sunday. So none of those days are a washout. I know it looks like a lot on the 7-day forecast, but just some scattered showers, maybe a few storms over the weekend, but it's not going to be a lot of rain. I think all totaled from Thursday to Sunday, maybe half an inch to an inch of rain in the Triad expected, so it's not going to be a washout.
No, that's good news for a lot of people, especially whoever has a wedding this weekend. We definitely don't want it to rain for them. Let's see what people are saying on our feed right now. Sharia says she's been getting in 2 miles every day. Wow, that's awesome. Good for you. Yeah. And let's see. Charlie said he will get out today and walk in the very warm weather. And I know that more people have been weighing in. Bobby is going to be working inside today. It's probably nice to have the AC on. Lucille said, good, yes, I'm going to go outside. But Heather said she's probably not. She's dealing with a migraine today, and sometimes the heat makes it worse. Trying to keep cool most of the day, that's probably a good idea. I know that even though I love this weather, and so does Megan and Christian, we all love warm weather. My mom has multiple sclerosis, and a lot of times the heat can really affect her symptoms. Sorry, I'm losing my voice again. See, allergies, thank you. So, you know, she does better in the cooler climates because the heat kind of just flares everything up. And I think that's for a lot of people that have certain issues. So, you know, that's the other side to the weather being warmer. Obviously, we like the summer, but it's not good for everybody.
Yeah, you might have already read this comment. I was responding to somebody, but Joanne said, summertime and the living is easy. She said her 90-year-old bones are cold most of the time. Joanne, my 30-year-old bones are cold all the time too, so I don't know if age is a factor in that. I think it's just depending on who you are, you're either warm-natured or cold-natured. Christian, I was actually surprised you said your ideal temperature was 70-something because you love the mountains, you went to school at App State. I was expecting more like in the 50s for you.
I think if I had to boil it down in like between a range, it'd be between like 60, between 65 and 75. That would be my perfect temperature range. Of course, you know, in the summer in Boone and up in the mountains, it kind of sticks in that temperature range, of course, throughout a good portion of June, July, and even August too. But, you know, like it's funny too, since I have graduated, you know, several years ago up at Appalachian, I used to think I was really accustomed and conditioned to the cold weather, and I could walk out in 20s and 30s and it didn't bother me. And now I think I've lost all of that. When it gets into the 40s, I'm like shivering now.
Speaking of cold weather, okay, Monique had a really good question. She said, can we now put out flowers? Is the cold gone?
That's a really, really good question. So, of course, over the weekend, you know, we had some 20s and 30s, super cold, honestly, for this time of the year, but it still can happen. Spring is a very volatile time around here. It can get cold, it can get warm, and we've seen all that kind of play out over the last week. April 15th is kind of that midway point where you feel pretty safe that you can start planning things and buying things. Now, of course, our latest freeze has come as late as May before, so it's about really kind of about how much risk that you're willing to take. But generally, once we get into the middle of April, you can feel a whole lot safer planning things. And I honestly don't see any more real legitimate cold in our near future, so I would say I think you're pretty much safe to go ahead and plan some things.
All right, maybe a trip to the farmer's market this weekend.
Maybe
Sounds
so.
fun.
Things are looking good too.
Awesome. We'll get to our next talker in just a moment, but we have to get you caught up on some headlines today. It is a huge day in North Carolina for COVID-19 vaccines. Today, anyone in our state 16 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine as eligibility expands to this final group 5. Here's what you should know about getting a vaccine. 16 and up can get only the Pfizer vaccine. 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they can get only the Pfizer vaccine. 18 and up can get any of the 3 vaccines, so including Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. You can sign up with county health departments, hospital systems, or pharmacies. We have more scheduling information on WFMYnews2.com. Looking at some of the big vaccine sites here in the Triad, Cone Health has appointments in Greensboro open today and tomorrow. The Burlington Clinic still has spots open this weekend. There are also hundreds of open appointments at the Greensboro Coliseum. You can book these appointments through the Guilford County Health Department, either online or by phone. We have the information on how to schedule on WFMYnews2.com. Now that Group 5 is open, more people will be looking to get COVID-19 vaccines nearest them. We know there are several large clinics around the Triad we just mentioned, but there are other smaller spots where you can get a shot too. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller is checking in with places like local pharmacies offering vaccines.
Well, we all know our larger pharmacies like Walgreens and CVS are giving out the vaccine, but some smaller pharmacies are getting shipments as well. Friendly Pharmacy here on Lawndale Drive in Greensboro is getting weekly doses. The pharmacy is getting consistent shipments from the federal government. They are vaccinating those 18 and older with the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. About 30 people a day will walk out of the pharmacy fully vaccinated. Appointments are booked for this week, but more will open next week.
I mean, the younger folks are the ones that are right now the most anxious to get it, who have not been eligible in any category. So yeah, I would say mostly that's who's remaining and is taking advantage of this opportunity. So.
And as long as folks are making appointments, the pharmacy says they'll give out the shot. Summit Pharmacy and Surgical Supply on Summit Avenue is giving out the J&J vaccine. They can vaccinate about 200 people a week. Starmount Pharmacy on West Market Street is allowing folks to make vaccine appointments by phone and allowing some walk-ins. The J&J shot is what they have available. And I reached out to other pharmacies across the Triad. Some of them say they are waiting to hear from the state on when and if they'll get the vaccine, and others say they are not administering the shot at all. So if you're looking to get a shot at some of these smaller pharmacies, be sure to give them a call ahead of time to make sure they have the vaccine available.
Well, we've seen different shortages pop up in the last year due to the pandemic. There's a new one that experts are watching out for, a ketchup packet shortage. Okay, it's specifically the packets, not the bottled ketchup, but it's due in the rise in both takeout and restaurants using single serve items to cut down on cross-contamination. So when you get these condiment packets or extra napkins, do you use them all, or are they sitting in a drawer somewhere, maybe in your car? Ew. Go ahead and let us know in the comment section below, okay? My husband makes fun of me all the time because anytime I get takeout, drive-through, there are extra napkins and I stick them in the console.
Yes, me too.
Because you never know when you're gonna need a napkin.
Right.
If you need to blow your nose, if you need to wipe up a mess, you have napkins. If you have food and you need a napkin, it's right there for you. He makes fun of me for it. But the only kind of packet, I guess, condiment packet that I keep is Chick-fil-A Polynesian sauce. I usually keep the extras just because, it's so good. But I don't really have ketchup packets lying around. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, so the ketchup shortage, initially I was like, wait, what, really? But then it makes sense because it's just the packets, like you said, not the bottles. And given the increase in the amount of takeout that's been going out in this past year since the pandemic started, it makes sense that, it's hard to manufacture those little packets and for these suppliers to keep up, I'm sure. That said, when you have a shortage of ketchup in the United States of America, that's not a good thing. I'm more of a mustard person myself, but the ketchup craze is huge, Christian.
Yeah, guys, we mentioned earlier on the Good Morning Show about how it's been crazy about how all these different shortages have kind of came about over the last year, and the ketchup one. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it really makes sense with so many people doing takeout and so many people, of course, trying to support local businesses that dining rooms haven't been open in as much until recently, with a lot of people doing takeout. But raise your hand if you have a drawer at home or somewhere, maybe in your office or maybe at your desk, that you keep all of your takeout dips and condiments, whether it's ketchup or mustard, or I have a lot of Chick-fil-A sauces in my drawer here at work. They all just seem to collect over time.
Yeah, I know another meteorologist who has a special drawer too.
I know about that one.
In pre-pandemic times, people would help themselves to his share of condiments and barbecue hot sauces and all the like. So yeah, I guess we used to have a drawer. I try to clean it out once a year because I'm big into not wasting anything. So when these restaurants give you, or used to give you, so many packets of sauce, I'm like, well, we can't throw them away. We'll use them down the line. And then they just sit in the drawer or the fridge for who knows how long, and then you don't even know how old it is, if it's still good. It's hard to read that fine print on those small packets with the expiration date. So I usually just end up tossing them anyway, but you know, it's kind of a shame.
Yeah, actually, you couldn't see him, but behind the scenes, one of our directors, George, had his hand raised, Christian.
Okay.
So if you need ketchup, apparently he has it ready
George,
for
I'm
you.
coming for you later.
Yeah.
Now we know where the ketchup's gone.
Yeah. So Alicia said she had a ton of Taco Bell hot sauce packets.
Yes.
I know a lot of people that love those. Sharia says mainly honey and soy sauce. Joanne said she never keeps them. Seems they would clutter. Sharia keeps them for to-go dishes. Heather said, my mom taught me about always keeping napkins or tissues in your car. I have both. Jason said in college he kept all the condiments, but now he tosses them when he doesn't use them. The napkins I still keep in the center console. And Alicia says she keeps them, and Nadine says toss them. Nothing bothers me more than to find them in my house or at my office. I find them everywhere.
Yeah. Ooh, those soy sauce packets, by the way, are so messy. I think it's because soy sauce is so thin, unlike, you know, ketchup and mustard, that you can just, you know, easily squeeze out of the packet. The soy sauce just comes bursting out, and then you get all over your hands.
It doesn't matter how careful you are with the soy
No.
sauce packet. You can lean it up against something just so it doesn't spill over, but it ends up
It's messy.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Always.
Just doesn't belong in a little packet.
No. Well, this was a fun conversation this morning.
Yeah, and speaking of food and all this, it just makes you want to kind of get outside and grill, and we could definitely do some of that this afternoon and evening.
Oh yeah, have lunch outside, have dinner outside. Either one of those is going to be perfect. I mean, it's going to be a gorgeous day of weather. Really kind of feeling more like summer. Will be our warmest day of the year. Temperatures climbing up into the mid 80s this afternoon. There will be tons of sunshine to enjoy. So you might also want to carry along some sunscreen. It's starting to get that time of the year too. Thursday's mainly dry as well. It's a little bit cooler, adding in some extra clouds in the afternoon. Upper 70s. Low rain chance, mainly just for an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon and evening. Not everybody's going to get one of those. Not going to be a big deal. The better chance for rain comes on Friday evening and Saturday evening, but even those 2 days don't look like a washout to me. Temperatures are staying in the 70s. We're drying out Sunday and as we head into next week as well.
Yeah, today looks like a good day to get some ice cream, or I wonder if snow cone places are open yet.
I haven't seen any open. There are a couple good snow cone places in your hometown of Asheboro, Christian. We'll have to check in. I'm sure people will be wanting a cool frozen treat today, especially.
And as soon as Stacy said ice cream, that's immediately where all my attention has been drawn
You're
now. So I'm
welcome.
going to make it my life's work this afternoon to get some ice cream.
Okay, well, I
this
want
morning.
some too.
Okay, deal.
Okay.
Megan?
Yeah, you're up. Go get it. Bring it back. All right. Hey, thanks so much for spending part of your morning here with us on After GMS. We love interacting with you, kind of letting loose a little bit and just talking with you. It's a great experience every day.
Yeah, my favorite part of my day. Thank you again so much for joining us. We'll be right back here tomorrow morning at 7:45 a.m. Get out there and get to it.
See ya.